Well, we got some good news coming out of the bye week, and that is that Brian Branch and Frank Ragnow were both practicing today. But we found out from our coach, man, Dan Campbell, one thing that we love about him, for real, is he is a transparent dude. And he's going to tell you like it is. He's going to be very upfront with you in any situation. And he was very upfront with Taylor Deckard about was he going to be part of the future? And he was. They had a man-to-man conversation, and Taylor gets an extension a little while later. And we found out today that along with that good news, that we got some potentially bad news as well, and that is the Detroit Lions appear to have lost Derrick Barnes for the season. And it's very upsetting, man, because football is a violent game. It really is. And injuries are 100% of the game, but there are injuries that are 100% avoidable as well. And it just upsets you that this guy was not only coming into his own, kind of had a rough 2 years in the league, and the third year came into his own, and now is going to be a free agent after this year, and he's probably done for the season. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say. This is coming from his press conference, but this quote here is coming from Pride of Detroit, their website. Says, "I think we will be fortunate to get him at any point this year," Campbell said. That's speaking of Derrick Barnes. "I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but I think we will be pretty fortunate if it does." And again, Dan Campbell is not going to put the horse before the carriage or the carriage before the horse. But when he says something, we can pretty much assume that it's going to be the way it is when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. Not like the typical coach and GM theatricality and deception. You know, this is a serious thing, and this is about something that's already happened. So, and it's unfortunate, man, because it didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen at all, man. Let's take a look again at the play. Viewer discretion is advised, and this is the play that hurt Derrick Barnes. This was in the Arizona Cardinal game, all right, week 3. And here is Derrick Barnes here. And again, we looked at this video, but just for a recap, here's Derrick Barnes here. This is Trey McBride. Trey McBride right here. He's going to come around and block Derrick Barnes extremely low. First of all, you too big for that. You too big for that, bro. What are you going low for? You're a big dude. What are you going low for? I don't understand that. Take the dude head on. All right, but you undercut him, and we're going to let this thing play again. Viewer discretion is advised. Derrick Barnes is going to come in, and Trey McBride. Matter of fact, let's go and let's slow that down so we can, because it happened so fast. This was totally unnecessary. Football is a tough sport. Totally unnecessary. Goes down. And again, we talked about this before. If we look at Derrick Barnes' leg. Let me pause that real quick. Just take a look at Derrick Barnes' leg, man. As a matter of fact, and it's sad too, because something I just noticed that I didn't really pay attention to the first time. If Derrick Barnes is not standing so wide, he might have an opportunity to jump over this tackle, because you can see right here, he sees that this is about to happen, but he tries to, he's so wide that he can't move out the way, and his knee goes in the opposite. Look at that. And when we talked about this before, this is Derrick Barnes' hit. This is his foot. His foot is here. His knee is just out of frame right there. Totally unnecessary. Now, it looks like Trey was maybe, this is hard to tell from this angle. It looks like he could have been at the thigh. And again, if Derrick Barnes has a tighter stance, and I'm not trying to put this on Barnes at all, but if we've seen players, matter of fact, I watch it all day Sunday long. All day long Sunday. How players they see a play coming, and they literally leap over the defender or offender, whatever happens, right? Because they don't want to be hurt. And again, Derrick Barnes, man, play that shouldn't have. Look at this. His knee, and again, we went over this, but his knee is over here. His leg is right there. It's sad, because this is probably the play that's going to take him out for the remainder of the season. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, Derrick Barnes, this is year 4. Him and Amon-Ra St. Brown were drafted in the same draft in 2021. This was a, quote, contract year for DB. Came into the starting role, him, Anzalone, and Jack Campbell. And now, not only is he potentially lost for the season, he's at the end of his rookie deal. So I'm going to say this. Derrick Barnes will be a Detroit Lion next year. He will 100%. I think he was going to be one anyway. But now, and this, I'm not trying to be funny or you know, I'm not going to joke at this point when it comes to this, right? Or be callous. Brad Holmes, they invest in their guys, whether you're injured or not. We've seen this with Emmanuel Mosley. 2 season-ending injuries, and we still brought the dude back. He made the 53-man roster this year. We signed him after last year. Like, we signed him coming off a season-ending injury. He suffers one in training camp, and we didn't even cut him, right? So Derrick Barnes will have an opportunity next year. Not sure what the deal will be, but if Dan Campbell says he's pretty much done for the season, he probably is. And that sucks, man, because this whole process is, so we already know that Derrick Barnes, they're going to keep that window open. But remember, we only have 7 or 8 elevations all season long, 10 if you include the playoffs. And Derrick Barnes was one of those guys, an IR with elevation, right? So we'll see how that goes. But Derrick Barnes potentially lost for the season on a hit that didn't even have to happen. So that's unfortunate, man. We will see him back next year. Now, this is a case of, we talk about the Lions bringing back injured players, right? Derrick Barnes was injured. He was hit and injured. We're not talking about a non-contact injury. This thing is unavoidable. And this is the stuff I'll be trying to tell y'all about, like injury prone versus injury history. Injury prone is a guy that is a lot of non-contact stuff, right? And then once you get to, let's say you have 3 or 4, like for instance, Emmanuel Mosley had a couple non-contact injuries. He got hurt, and I believe the one in San Francisco was non-contact. The one in Detroit was non-contact. Then you might have been contacted for the pec muscle. And it's like, okay, but if you're hit and you tear an ACL, like Nick Chubb is not injury prone. That was a contact hit, unavoidable, right? It was avoidable if the hit wasn't. And that thing was absolutely brutal. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But Derrick Barnes potentially lost for the season. Sad news for the Detroit Lions. I feel super bad for him. Here's the crazy part. Right before this happened, shout out to my guy JBL, who saw him, all right? And he was actually listening to one of my videos when he saw him. And it was crazy. And this is right before this happened. So well wishes, man. Speedy recovery for Derrick Barnes, man. We will see him again next year. I have no doubt about it. Once they call it a season, then I'm sure he'll be just into next season mode. So expect Derrick Barnes not to return for the 2024 season. Now I'm really want the Lions to win a Super Bowl. I think all the people that got hurt, all the people that made the sacrifices for us to get to this point, and for one reason or another, they can't contribute this year. I want us to win. Now, I really want us to win now because, you know, for all the people that can't, that they want to be there, but they can't. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. So sad to see an injury to a guy that was just coming into his own contract year, playing very well, and injured in a way he did not have to be injured. Kind of sucks, man. So this channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Get well soon, Derrick Barnes. It's not over till it's over, but according to Coach, it most likely is.